everybody, Vince August here. It is Monday, August 5th. Thank you if you're joining me live. If you're not joining me live, that's fine too. You can watch it on replay. Hopefully the camera and the sound is working well on this. Not in my normal location, in the lower part of my office loft, where you can see Lucy as a Jedi behind me and the map of all the places. Hold on. How do I do this? The map of all the places I performed around the country. So different setup. Want to jump right into this. Don't want to waste time BSing about where I am. So I put up a post, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, talking about information and wanted to get into 5 stories and how they directly relate to my take on how people need to prepare themselves for the barrage of bullshit that's coming your way for the next 90 days and really beyond, but especially the next 90 days. And my post starts off, I really got to get contact lenses. My post starts off, a fact is truthful information minus emotion. So facts, there's no emotion in facts. They are what they are. The key today is getting truthful information. The 24-hour news channels have become entertainment. Make sure your information is honest and accurate before you call it a fact. Okay, so right out of the gate, for the people that watch the 24-hour news channels, you should know right away there were lawsuits against Rachel Maddow and Tucker Carlson when he was on Fox News. Their lawyers argued in court, successfully defending them, that they are not journalists, they are entertainers. Their lawyers argued it in court. So Rachel Maddow can sit there and come out with tax returns and start waving papers around and everything else. It's not journalism. It's entertainment, and they call it as much. And most of those shows are just opinion-based entertainment. They'll take a portion of a news story, and then it's just, and here's my take on it. And then they'll have people come on and give their take to agree with their take. And everyone has this an agreement party, which is just absolute not news. So the first thing is you have to be wary of what's news. And let's get into my first story of what's news and what's not news. There's an Olympic boxer, an Algerian Olympic boxer that is making waves right now. And I see that everyone has jumped on it. And I want to make sure that I get the boxer's name correct. Imane Khalif, I believe it's the way it's pronounced, Imane Khalif. And this is the Algerian boxer. And it all started when this boxer fought an Italian boxer, this boxer Carini. And within 46 seconds, the boxer Carini was just like, that's it, I'm out. I've never been hit this hard before. This person punches too hard. Can't fight this person. Fell to the canvas, started crying. And immediately, people from the media jumped on their narratives. And there's one narrative that's pretty pervasive right now on the right, and there's another one on the left with regards to transgender people in sports. People on the right are absolutely against it, don't want to hear discussions about it, period, end of story. People on the left, a little bit more open to it. My opinion, just to let you know, when it comes to transgender in sports, I don't think we've come to a point where we know enough about the different levels of hormones to be able to separate many of these people out, to say, here's where the fair advantage is, here's where the unfair advantage is not. But I will tell you this, I tend to be against transgender people competing in sports. And the reason I say it, it's because it is overwhelmingly male going to female sports and dominating female sports. Overwhelmingly. I don't know many stories of it happening the other way. So if it's happening in such an overwhelming way in one direction, and there's this tremendous amount of success that comes with it, then that's something we need to look at and say, hey, look, clearly there's an advantage. However, none of that applies to this story. And for the people that are using this example this Imam Khalif as their example to wave this banner and plant their flag and say, look, this is wrong. You guys are so off base on this one. You jumped on a narrative. You jumped on, Riley Gaines, who's made a living out of this. And I think what happens is people, because they become the spokesperson for this topic, they immediately have to take what they believe is the side of their narrative and promote it. And I don't care if it's Riley Gaines. I don't care if it's Caitlyn Jenner. I don't care if it's Megyn Kelly. They're all wrong on this one. And I'm going to tell you why they're all wrong, because I did research. And again, these are facts. This is not me coming up with, I'm just going to follow people. So the facts are, she was born a woman, period, end of story. Female genitalia, born a woman, end of story. This is not someone that transitioned from male to female. If she did, she would not be alive right now because it's illegal in Algeria. She would have been criminally charged. If not, who knows what other horrific things Algerians would have done to her. So that's the first thing. She was born a woman. Second thing, she's claimed to have failed a test with high testosterone. There's no evidence of this test. So everyone says that she failed this test. There is no evidence. No one has been able to produce a test to show the chromosome or the testosterone issue. It does not exist as far as I know. If I'm wrong, say it in the comments. Find me the article with the test, because the test does not exist. It's not out there. Okay. Second, the only negative test she gave was when she fought an undefeated Russian boxer woman in Russia. And the Russian Boxing Federation, after that fight, said, oh, wait a second, hold on. No. She failed the test. The Russian Boxing Federation has yet to give a copy of this test. It's not out there. And people are saying, well, why doesn't she get tested? Why doesn't she get tested? The reason everyone's clamoring for this boxer to get tested is because no one has this test. You mean to tell me if this test didn't exist, you don't think everybody would be showing the results of the test? It doesn't exist. I've researched the shit out of this. And again, if you have it, I'm seeing comments. Steph, hi from California. Adam, today Algerian box failed the chromosome test in 2023. No, show me the test. Adam, where's the test? The only test that's known that she failed is when she fought this undefeated Russian boxer, and suddenly the Russian Boxing Federation, oh, no, hold on. No, she has too much. Dude, it's bullshit. Adam, until I see the test, to me, it's bullshit. Because if it exists, show it to us. Why would the Russians be hiding this? Show it. I haven't seen it. No one has shown it. I haven't seen it on any news channel. I've seen it on no print. Other thing, she's lost 6 fights to women. She's yet to win. I don't know if she's fighting tonight. She's yet to win before this Olympics, yet to win a major event. Small boxing things here and there, yet to win a major boxing title. Has lost 6 times to women. 6 times. So it's not like she's unbeatable. It's not like she's unbeatable. And then, with regards to Carini. All right, so Carini is this Italian boxer who gets in there and takes a couple shots and immediately is like, whoa. I can't fight this person. I have seen that in the male ranks. I will never forget when I saw Michael Spinks come out to fight Mike Tyson. He got knocked down like twice in the first round, laid down the second time, is like, I ain't getting up. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. And that was 2 men, okay? Michael Spinks, who was, I think, a heavyweight champion at one point, and Mike Tyson. Sometimes you just get beat. And I think Carini's reaction and Carini crying in the middle of the ring, kneeling down, bawling, I think made people emotional when you attach it. And again, what was the first thing I said about emotion and facts and what my post said? Okay. Oh, why is this not going to where I want it to go? Here it is. A fact is truthful information minus emotions. What's the truthful information? Was it that maybe Carini wasn't that good of a boxer? Or that there's this overwhelming advantage because of some type of chromosome issue, some type of testosterone issue, which, again, where is this test? Until I see a test, all I know is someone was born a biological female. Even if she does have high testosterone level for whatever, she's born a biological female. I mean, it's not a transgender. You guys are planting your flag on the wrong thing. Again, this has nothing to do with transgender people in sports. I'm talking about this particular instance. Again, I started with it. I don't like transgender men competing in women's sports because from what I've seen, it's overwhelmingly unfair. We mainly see it male to female. We're not seeing it the other way around. Talking about this case and the facts of this case. Last point. The selective outrage with regards to the Olympics. Everyone's getting caught up in how, there's this disparity in pay between men and women in sports in the United States. Here's something I bet a lot of you don't know. Olympic athletes from the actual Olympics in France, you know what they get paid besides their medal? Nothing. They get room and board. That's it. They don't get paid shit. Where they do get paid is from their home countries. So their home countries wind up paying them. Here are the payouts from some of the countries with regards to the Olympics. Okay. Number one for gold medal, Hong Kong. They pay their athletes $768,000 for a gold. Singapore, $745,000 for a gold. Then Indonesia, $300,000 for gold. Israel, $271,000 for gold. The Republic of Kazakhstan, $250,000 for gold. Malaysia, $216,000 for gold. Spain, $102,000 for gold. Notice who I haven't mentioned yet. France, $87,000 for gold. South Korea, $45,000 bonus for a gold. Oh, we finally made it. United States, if you win a gold medal, you get a bonus of $38,000. If you get a silver, you get $23,000. If you get a bronze, you get $15,000. So, with all the selective outrage about the Olympics and how much money are they making in France? How much money is NBC raking in on showing these Olympic Games? All of the sponsors, everything else. Everybody's making money but the athletes. The Olympics is no better than what college football is, college basketball is. They take advantage of these athletes. So when I hear the selective outrage about how there's this disparity in pay and this and that, oh, I love the Olympics. I don't, because to me, the Olympics is bullshit. It's amateur athletes being used by sponsors to benefit themselves. So when people say to me, well, why don't you support the Olympics? This is why. It's a scam. The Olympics is a fucking scam to actually profit, once again, major corporations, networks, and the home nation. So when you give me your selective outrage about disparity in sports and pay and this and that, where's the Olympics in that argument? Let me catch up on some of the comments. Adams had a fair point. We'll forward info from folks I consider very credible. No one have a copy of the test. More than a layperson. Again, ball in my court. Yeah, please. If you find it, let me know. I never claimed transgender. I don't know what happened yet. Yeah, Adam, she's not transgender. This person is not transgender. That is a woman. Now, with regards to certain advantages that certain people have genetically speaking, okay? So you look at somebody like Serena Williams, who's just bigger than a lot of the women that play tennis, okay? That's that's a genetic advantage. No. Shaquille O'Neal is just a bigger guy. Genetic advantage. No. Sometimes genetic plays a factor in this. I think Michael Phelps, if I'm not mistaken, had some weird thing with his lung capacity, his elbows double jointed, whatever. I know there was something about Michael Phelps. Someone look it up if you can and comment on it. He had some weird genetic things that, listen, that's why certain people can compete in certain sports. Okay. There are some genetic advantages. It is what it is. Look, I was a power lifter, and my third lift was the deadlift. I used to go sumo style. Why? Look at the size of my arms. Incredibly long arms, long legs, shorter distance for me to travel. So what's that? A genetic advantage? It's the tools that you have that you're given. You know, look at somebody like Nolan Ryan. Never needed Tommy John surgery. Genetic freak. You hear it all the time. There are people that are genetic freaks. If the person is born the biology of the sport, I'm sorry. I think everyone's wrong on this. And again, you can't automatically go to narrative. And I think that's the problem here, is people are so married to their narrative that the second someone says, oh, here we go again, it's, yeah, here we go again. Guys, pause, man. Everyone pause. Get the information first. Get the facts first. Because again, people like Riley Gaines, and I'm not trying to shit on Riley Gaines, but that's her thing now. This is her thing. Tommy Lahren, this is her thing. This is what they go to. Even Caitlyn Jenner, this is now her thing. Hey, listen, man. No, get the information. Don't just jump on people's narratives. So that was the first story I wanted to cover. I already spent too much time on that. Okay, let's get to the second part of my post, because it gets to the second thing that I'm covering. All right, an opinion is information based on experience. Why does this thing keep moving? Now, this is dangerous as well. Our experience are anecdotal. If you're wealthy, it's difficult to offer opinions on the struggle of people that don't have money. If you don't travel, your experience is based on limited interactions with the people and places that you know. The world is an awfully big place. Stop convincing yourself your circle is all encompassing. Okay. Ignorance is an opinion lacking information. This one's a bit easier. It's the equivalent of an immediate assumption based on biases, emotions, and misplaced beliefs. The key here is to remember, some people never want to hear true information because they feel comfortable with their biases, emotions, and misplaced beliefs. Okay. That brings me to my second story. Love your take on the Olympics. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I know we have limited people watching. I appreciate every one of you. All right. So let's get to mistaken beliefs. Disney is flailing and failing massively. Disney their stock is tanking. It's under $90 a share. There was a war. I hate using the word war. There was a contest for the seats for running the company. Perlmutter and the other guy, Peltz, tried to replace Iger in the board. They tried to come up with a different group of people to wipe out the board at Disney, to take the company in a different direction. Okay. Bob Iger wins the proxy battle. Again, I hate using the word war. Wins the proxy battle against Nelson Peltz, and this guy Perlmutter keeps control of the company, says, we're doing fine. And the guy, I think it was Peltz, says, I got an eye on you. The stock's trading at 112 as of today when I lost this proxy battle. If it dips, I'm coming for you again. Iger wins at $112 a share. I think it's down to now about $88 a share. And it had nothing to do with the crash today. That stock has been tumbling since this whole proxy thing with this board. Okay. So now Bob Iger says, look, you know what? The company's in trouble. We're going to focus on quality over quantity. We were putting out too much stuff. You know what? That's the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire 8,000 people. Really? Really, Bob? That's the problem? It's not that you spent money on a remake, this live thing of Snow White, because here's the thing that Disney does. Okay, we have all these cartoons. Let's make a live action version of it. Not creating anything new. Nothing new. Take Beauty and the Beast, put people in it. Take Lion King, make it look like real animals. Basically, let's take what we have in our library and let's redo it. Let's remake it. Let's just churn it out. Let's beat this thing till it's dead. not come up with new content, not come up with new creative. And then when they do come up with new content, they blame people for not liking the content, not the problem. So Snow White was a shit show out of the gate. The girl Rachel Ziegler gave a bad interview, started saying how she didn't like the original version. We're going to do it different. The prince was a stalker, this and that. Then they took her aside. Hey, what are you doing here? She tried to rehabilitate herself. They cast somebody else for the younger version. The 7 dwarfs weren't dwarfs because Peter Dinklage got offended by it, and it was 7 diverse individuals. Then that changed, and they became animated. They were going to be animated dwarfs instead, and they pissed away $500 million. And you know what's going to come of it? Nothing. They're not even making a movie. Then you have, what was the other one? Hold on. Oh, Ashoka. They're destroying the Star Wars franchise. In fact, South Park did a brilliant take on it, ripping Kathleen Kennedy, who somehow took over the Star Wars franchise. And South Park, what South Park did. Let me tell you, Parker and Stone hit it out of the park, as they always do, ripping apart what Kathleen Kennedy has done to the Star Wars franchise, which is, in their words, put a chick in it, make her lame, make her gay. So Ashoka, terrible. Then they come out with Acolyte, terrible. Basically what the Acolyte does is the Acolyte says, hey, remember this? And if you could see behind me, those are the original 6 movies. Let's take everything you remember from this, shit on it, start it all over again. And all of this stuff, all of these character arcs, screw it. Who needs all of that? Shit on it, destroy it. That was another one. Boba Fett was another one. The last 3 Star Wars movies they made, it went from what? The one director to Rian Johnson, back to the other guy. None of them talked to each other. The storyline was disjointed. It was an absolute disaster. Again, we're not going to take the blame for it, because you know what? It's the quantity, it's the quality that we're going to change. We were putting out too much stuff. No, you're putting out shit. In fact, what they do then is they disable the comments on the threads. Look up Acolyte on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's one of the worst rated fan ratings of anything on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how bad it is. And so what Disney does is they disable the comments. We don't want to hear it. Basically, what they're saying is, blah, 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 blah. We don't hear you. Okay. Also, watch the leaked video, O'Keefe Media. So this guy O'Keefe used to do all these undercover things. What the hell was the name of his company? Adam, you probably know it. And he used to go undercover, and these guys would go on dates, or people would go on dates. They would meet people, and they would be wearing some type of body camera. They didn't know what it was. Well, this guy O'Keefe gets a Disney executive on tape saying, look, they're not hiring any more white guys. It's a DEI agenda. It is what it is. They've told me I've hit the ceiling. End of story. So Iger gaslights people with bullshit. So he doesn't want to hear the truth. He doesn't want to hear facts. He's just going to lock himself to the DEI agenda and say, hey, look, my opinion trumps facts. So you know what? We're going to not listen to our fans. We're just going to go over our beliefs, what we think to be accurate, what we think works, and go from there. So they're cutting 8,000 more jobs. Mind you, the 8,000 jobs they're cutting, they're not cutting executive jobs. They're not cutting executive jobs. The park numbers for Disney, all-time low. So the way they gauge the park numbers in the parks is they look at the wait times. And there's 2 really good YouTube channels if you want to follow the Disney thing. One is called WDW Pro, and then there's this other guy, I think his name is Valiant Renegade. The Valiant Renegade. And these guys do a masterful job of covering Disney. Watch their videos. They give you a step-by-step analysis of how Disney is failing. The parks are empty, attendance is down, and Universal's about to freight train run them over. Universal's opening a new park in Orlando in 2025, and Disney's on like this 10-year campaign to fix the Magic Kingdom and open a new area. They're going to get run over. So Iger, again, using the post that I put up, we don't care about facts. We don't care about truthful information. We're just going to work on our feelings because we're comfortable on our feelings. And our feelings are, you know what? What we're doing is working. We're just putting out too much. We're going to put out more quality, less quantity. It's working. No, you're disabling comments. You're not listening to the fans. They're not coming to your parks. Your Disney Plus subscription. So here's what happens. Disney Plus subscriptions plummeted. So you know what they did to show like it wasn't plummeting? They jacked up the price of Disney Plus. The park attendance plummeting. What did they do? Raise the price of ticket to give everyone the impression that they're not failing. Failing and flailing. And again, when you don't tell your customers the truth, there you go. Your live podcast was very informative, far more insightful than competing. Time on TV. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you, man, more than you know. Let me get back to what I put in this post. Okay, so the last part of the post says, finally, we have stupidity. These are those that have opinions and ignore actual proven facts. These people tend to create their own facts, change facts, or make you believe facts are subjective. Now, remember, we don't always have all the facts. Sometimes you have to wait things out. We live in a time where somehow it's better to be first than factually correct. Okay. One famous politician even explained how she and the corrupted elected officials she works with intentionally disperse false facts, create support for knowingly false facts, which they then feed to the news, the press, who in turn create a version of the story that the people believe. Okay. Without getting into who this person is, maybe the best thing I could do is play her talking, and then you people can discern. And so here we go.
Smear somebody, you demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that guy.
Okay.
That the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble.
Okay. That's one of the most powerful politicians in the United States. One of the most powerful politicians that literally just took out a presidential candidate who got 14 million votes. Okay. Saying we put out false information. It's a wrap-up smear. We put out false information and then we feed it to the press. You guys report on it and then it gets dispersed. And there it is. And now because you report on it as news, well, now it's news. Which takes me back to the point. Again, there's news, everybody, and then there's facts. And they're not always the same. They're not always the same. So, and the way I'm going to wrap it. All right. So, politics. Nobody wants the truth about their own By the way, nobody wants to hear the truth about their candidate. And this is where, again, I lose one half of you first and then the other half of you next. Okay. Let's start with Donald Trump. People don't want to hear the truth about Donald Trump. People that are voting for Trump don't want to hear the truth about him. Listen to me. You want to vote for Donald Trump? Vote for Donald Trump. If he's your candidate, I don't care. I really don't. Go vote for him. But that you can deny, okay, that this man does unbelievably stupid shit. And when I say stupid shit, I mean beyond stupid shit. He's in Georgia the other day having one of his rallies, and towards the end of his rally decides he's going to attack the Republican governor from Georgia in front of the people that voted for that Republican governor, overwhelmingly, mind you. He's going to suddenly attack the guy who just said He's in favor of Donald Trump. He endorsed Donald Trump. But what is Donald Trump going to do at the end of his rally? I got to tell you, it's unbelievable. I don't know what's going to happen in Georgia. What's going to happen in Georgia? I don't know. They play tricky games in Georgia. I don't know. This governor, I tell you, this governor, he's something else, this governor. You know, I didn't play a dirty game to let that. Joe Biden, terrible candidate. One of the worst candidates ever. Terrible candidate. Why? First of all, why are you talking about Joe Biden? He's not even in the race. So you're still talking about 2020. You're not talking about 2024. You're still talking about how you were 14,000 votes short or whatever it was in Georgia. You're still talking about how you're pissed off at Kemp. Okay. How do you look at yourself as a Trump supporter and not be honest enough to say, God, we don't need this shit right now. Look, man, border economy. That's it. What are you doing? Border economy. The world is on fire. World War III is starting. No wars under me. Economy was good under me. What is this guy doing? Be honest enough with yourself, Trump people, to say that's stupid. Be honest enough with yourself, Trump people, that when he sits at an interview and goes, I don't know. First, she was Indian. She was Indian. Everyone said she was Indian. And then one day, she was black. She was black. I don't know. She's black one day. Indian one day, black. Like he's never heard of somebody being mixed race. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Let me tell you something. Nobody trips over his own dick better than Donald Trump. And the only guy that can lose this election for Donald Trump is Donald Trump. And man, when he does stuff like the Kamala Harris thing with the Indian and the black, when he goes after Kemp and starts doing friendly fire on his, within their own tent, okay, come on. God, you can't defend this. You can't defend it. Nobody wants to hear the truth about their candidate. Now I'm going to piss off the rest of you. Nobody wants to hear the truth about Kamala Harris. Because the truth about Kamala Harris was, in May, everyone was talking about, how do we get rid of Kamala Harris? We got to get rid of her. She's going to bring down this ticket. We got to get rid of her. And now she's the greatest candidate in almost the history. They were ready to 25th Amendment Joe Biden. There was a coup to 25th Amendment this guy that's leaking out of the sieve that is the White House. Okay. They were ready. And Nancy Pelosi comes out, who led the coup. He should be on Mount Rushmore. He should be on Mount, I think he should be on Mount Rushmore. Her. Come on. Kamala Harris is flip-flopping like crazy. Kamala Harris will say anything she has to say to get elected. And I hear people that when Joe Biden was on the ropes, I actually heard Democrats say this. Whoever it is, we got to support. Those were the words I heard people that I know. Anecdotal, just talking about people I know, talking about people I see on Twitter, talking about people I see on the news channels. Whoever it is, we're going to give our full support. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter who. As long as I have a D in front of their name, we're giving truth. Really? And I said, what about Joe Manchin? What if Joe Manchin becomes your candidate? What are you going to do? And they would look at me. Oh, last I saw presidential debate 4 years ago, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard ever switched allegiance. I don't know. I could be wrong. People on the thread, let me know. Last I heard she was a Democrat. What if it was Tulsi Gabbard? What if somebody who was a Republican switched sides? Because that was the other thing they mentioned. They should get somebody to switch sides, like Nikki Haley. Would you vote for her? She was a Republican 5 minutes ago. You probably would love her because she's a neocon warmonger too. Or the other one, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney. Why not vote for her, right? If she switches sides. This mentality of anybody, I don't care who it is, anybody. See, again, nobody wants to talk the truth about their candidates. Nobody wants to have this honest conversation. People want to marry themselves to their opinions, marry themselves to their positions, and refuse to acknowledge Kamala Harris will say anything to get elected, and Donald Trump will friendly fire the shit out of Republicans, alienate people on his side, say stupid things when he just stay on brand, stay on message. He can't help himself. And these are our choices. Then the other guy who I was Team RFK Jr. for a long time, and then slowly but surely I saw what he was doing. Then he comes out with this unbelievable bear story. He dumped a dead bear, and I'm like, dude, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. So once again, the unaffiliated candidate, I'm sitting here like, what? What do I do? I got one guy, she's Indian, now she's black. That camp, I don't know, tricky stuff happening in Georgia. I'm against fracking. Never, ever, ever are we going to do fracking. Look, we got to frack the shit out of this country. Stop it. Stop it, everybody. Be able to fucking attack your own things. You know, here's the other thing. One of the clearest signs of intelligence is being able to see the perspective of other people. You know what? Every now and then, go out of your tent. Go out of your tent and talk to people from different camps and see what they think and believe. Because you know what? It might enlighten you to see what the other side thinks and believes. And it's amazing because, again, I'm an unaffiliated person. I talk to Democrats. I talk to Republicans. I hear some people that when Trump says some stuff, it's just like, oh, man, I don't know why he says that shit. I don't know why. And I see people with Kamala going, oh, man, look, she could, she quit before she even primaried in 2020. At least they're honest enough to admit that. But the people that are all in, like these people are infallible. Come on, man. Come on. Let's be honest. Let's see. I did the Nancy Pelosi thing. I did the 24-hour news cycles. All right. The most dangerous thing of all of this stuff. Let me see. Let me catch up on comments before I get to the last one. Adam, you're over Jebel. You're over get. I can't read that word. Sorry, Trump is who he is. Hardly perfect, but overall very good. I am not a cult guy. I like the stream of consciousness of Trump. He always gets to the right place. I'm hardly blind, but I'm with Trump. Yeah, Adam, again, I don't mind that people are with Trump. I don't care if you're with Trump or Kamala. Just see the flaws in the candidate. Let's not deity these people to the point where they're so infallible. And the gushing that's happening on the honeymoon on the left right now. Come on, man. You were trying to off her. 2 months ago, they were saying, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can make her a Supreme Court justice and get rid of her that way. We got to figure out a way to get rid of her. Now she's the greatest thing. And again, Adam, I'm sorry, Trump trips over his own dick every time. Overgeneralizing. Okay, yeah, you misspelled that. That's on me. I'm like, what the fuck does this word say? Greber's independent, left on the DNC. Tulsi is now independent. Okay, she's independent. Do you think there will be a debate? I think there has to be a debate. I don't think either one of them can afford not to. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I think they're both so flawed that if they don't actually stand there and trade jabs with each other, and look, Kamala just got it. I get it. It's only been 10 days or whatever it's been. I get it. But she hasn't done a press conference. She was asked one question about the economy, and she did her word salad thing. She was asked another question outside the plane when the people were coming off the plane, the hostages, which was a beautiful moment. They asked her one thing, and she, again, word salad. We have to see what these people are actually going to stand for. Once and for all, let's hear what Trump's stance is on abortion. Let's have it. Once and for all, let's hear where Kamala is on the economy. Let's hear where she is on the border. There's the one thing I will say that Adam has said, at least I know what I get with Trump. I may not like it, but I know what I'm getting with Trump. I don't know what I'm getting with Kamala. Right now, I don't know what I'm getting because there's the 2020 version of Kamala, which we all saw, and she never made it out of the blocks. Tulsi Gabbard kneecapped her. Like first, second debate, boom, gone. And now we have this new version of, no, I'm for the police. No, we need a strong border. No, come on. We have to be honest with each other. That's not who that was 4 years ago. Now, do people change? Do people move? Do people change with a climate? Sure. But I want to hear it from her mouth. They have to debate. And you know what? Plain and simple, have one on CNN, one on Fox. It's the only way to do it fair. Only way to do it fair. One on CNN, one on Fox, boom, done. Trump went to CNN and took out Joe Biden. So I don't see what the problem is with her not wanting to go to Fox. I don't see it. I don't get it. And to say, well, you agreed to go to ABC and do the next debate, Trump should say, yeah, I'll tell you what, I will go to ABC. I will lock myself into ABC. You come to Fox first. I go to ABC next. Let's get this thing done. But yeah, they have to debate. They have to. My criticism of you, constructive. You can and should criticize Trump, but he should be your choice. That's the correct thing. You're waffling. You could do better. No, Adam, I'm not waffling. I don't like either candidate. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't like either candidate. I don't like Kamala Harris based on many of the things that she said. Don't like her. Don't like her position on the Second Amendment. Don't like her position on the border. Don't like her position on ICE. Don't like her position on the Supreme Court. Many things I don't like about her position. Here's the thing about Trump and Kamala. I'm going to put it to you this way, Adam. With Trump, better policies, horrific personality, horrific character. Okay. No wars is my favorite thing with Trump. No wars. Economy, kind of shit the bed on COVID at the very end. But then again, who knew what to do with COVID? So with policies, I think he's better. But rhetoric, terrible. Kamala, policies are shit. So if I'm going strictly policy, which, yeah, gun to my head, I'm probably going to do, I would probably vote for Trump. But it's not like I'm running to vote for Trump, because then he does these things where he tells people in 2022, don't go to Georgia. It was illegal. You saw what they did to me. Don't trust it. It's bad. And then he lost 2 Senate seats. Donald Trump, all the candidates he endorsed in 2022, remember the red wave? Never came. Never came. Why? Where was the red wave? So, and that's on Trump. That's on his rhetoric. Choice of 2, we'll see. VP pick is coming soon. Here's the thing with the VP pick. You're very wrong, and one day we'll see. If she wins, you'll apologize. A choice of 2. Let me get to the VP pick. Here's my problem with the VP pick with regards to what Kamala's doing. And I know it's down to Shapiro and the guy in Minnesota. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Anyway, it's down to those 2. Here's what bothers me about the VP pick. The VP pick is not about policy. The VP pick is not about who most aligns with me right now. The VP pick for the Democrats is, we got to win Minnesota. We got to win Pennsylvania. We got to keep our blue wall. Which one is more important, Pennsylvania or Minnesota? You know what? So it's not about who's going to be the best vice president. It's about who's going to win me the election. That is such a dangerous place to be as a country. And the reason we are in those places, to be quite honest, is because the election comes down to what? 6 states? Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona. I mean, that's literally what our country and our democracy comes down to. It comes down to 6 states. Let's be honest. And now what we're doing is, and listen, supposedly J.D. Vance was supposed to be the same thing for the Republicans. That was supposed to, I don't know, appease non-college educated voters. I don't know what, I mean, I guess he was going for the Midwest. I guess he was going for Pennsylvania. I happen to think simply strategically, I think it was a bad choice. I think he was better off going a different direction if we're talking strategic about winning the election. So this is what it's been. But right now you're seeing we have to win Minnesota. We have to win PA. It's not who aligns best with my points of view and perspective. It's who's going to pull me more center. Who's going to and even think about this, what's happening with the VP pick with Shapiro. They're actually worried about picking someone who's Jewish because of what's happening in the Middle East. And we don't want to alienate the Muslim voters and what we saw with all the protests at all the colleges and universities over the course of the spring. How dangerous. Oh, man, this is such a dangerous place we're in. I'm sorry, it is. Nothing but respect. Oh, yeah, listen, Tim Waltz. Thank you. It's Tim Waltz from Minnesota. Nothing but respect. Yeah, listen, I don't care that we disagree. I don't take any of this stuff personal. And the thing of choice of 2, Adam, you know what? Here's the funny thing that, and I normally get this more from the left than I do from the right, but you're on the right now, and you're going to go in the barrel. Whenever I do bring up RFK, I get 2 completely similar reactions for people on the right and the left. It's a wasted vote. And some people have said to me, look, I've actually heard people say this to me. We eventually need a 3rd party, maybe even a 4th party, just not this year. That to me is the most incredible thing that someone could say, and yet say, And why? We have to save our democracy. So we have to save our democracy by not being more democratic and having more choices. So you're saying the better thing for democracy is less choices. Leave it to two people that both sides should not feel good about. Because again, when you look at the candidates, and Adam, be honest with me on this one. Think about the people that were running when Trump wasn't going to debates, and think about the people on that stage. And be honest, was Trump better than every one of those candidates in terms of policies, in terms of being able to run the country, and in terms of character and rhetoric? Was he better than all of those candidates? You tell me. I don't know. I don't know if he was. Yes. Okay, you think so. Danielle, yes, it's so dangerous. Yeah, we're in such a dangerous time. We really are in such a dangerous space right now because it's all about winning election. It's all about keeping power. And the reason this election does have serious consequences because of the Supreme Court, you're going to get a new justice appointed. Ultimately, I think it's going to come down to what happens in the lower card, so to speak. The Senate races and the congressional races are huge. It's possible you could actually see Kamala Harris win president and lose the Senate and the House. She already doesn't have the House, but it'll be a bigger margin in the House. But I could see her losing the Senate. I could see Trump winning the presidency, having the House and Senate, and the Republicans not being ready for it like they weren't ready for it the last time, and shitting the bed and losing the midterms. So, yeah, I think there's a place where she wins and loses the Senate. And I think then you have stalemate. Nothing happens in the country, which tends to be good for the economy. I hate to say it, tends to be good for the economy. Stalemates are really good. Again, this is all forecasting. Red wave never came in 2022. We'll see. The key to this podcast, and you'll see it when I put up the meme, people, please just don't follow mainstream media and narratives. I mean, one of the things that we're seeing that the left are doing, they're calling they test things. So one of the things that tested was weird, using the word weird. We saw that with the right, with immediately jumping on this boxer and immediately saying she's trans. She was never trans. It just becomes a narrative to follow. And then what happens is they plant their flag. And here's the worst part. And I'm finally getting to my point after Jesus. Way too long, 48 minutes. Here's the worst thing you could do. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can read the post where I talk about truth, fact, opinion, all of these things. Here's the worst thing you could be. The worst thing you could be is a person that has too much hubris to admit you're wrong. And you know what? There's a chance I'm wrong. There's a chance I'm wrong about this boxer. If a test comes out that shows that this boxer has an overwhelming advantage over women in terms of chromosomes and in terms of testosterone that make her equivalent to a male, I'll be the first person to come on here and say, listen, I apologize. I'm wrong on that one. I haven't seen the test. No one's shown the test. No one's held up a test and said, here's the test. All we have is that Russian Boxing Federation that immediately disqualified her after she knocked out their undefeated Russian champ. That's all we have. She's also lost 6 times. So don't immediately run to the narrative. And when they plant their flagpole, they won't say they're wrong. I will tell you right now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the boxer. I could be wrong about Disney. I don't think I am wrong about Disney. The stock is turning to shit. The company's turning to shit. And they're saying, oh, it's you know what? It's the quantity, not the quality. Bullshit. You're putting out horrific DEI nonsense. You've turned people off to Star Wars. You've turned people off to your theme parks. You've turned people off to all of the stuff you're putting out. It's what you're putting out. And you fired people instead of firing the people in charge. You fire lower people, 8,000 people. What kind of piece of shit is Bob Iger? So again, follow the facts, follow the information, read, people. Don't just watch mainstream media. Read your news. try to, before you immediately follow a story and jump on a story, wait. You don't have to be first. You don't have to be first. It's better to be correct than to be first. Listen, everyone, for checking in. Thank you. I know I've had some of you. I lost some of you. At one point, there was like 15 people on. Let me catch up on some comics. The reason lunatics like Harris get in is because she's very smart. People like Vince are not endorsing the better candidate. Very upsetting, not all about personal, upsetting nevertheless. That's not the reason. The reason Kamala gets is because people hate Trump that much. Yes. And why hate him is because all Democrats media portray him. Well, listen, he does it to himself. Again, not talking about testosterone, 2023 chromosomes. Again, ball in my court. Show me the test. I want to see the XY chromosomes. I read that the two ladies in question have XY chromosomes, male chromosomes. They were both previously disqualified at a global event last year after failing gender tests. No. Differentiate the Albanian fighter from the Asian fighter. Two different people, two different cases. The Albanian fighter, Aman Khalif, was born a woman. Again, I don't know if she was born with XY chromosomes. I have not seen the test. Again, this is a Russian boxing federation that claims something I haven't seen. I could be wrong. She was born a woman. It is illegal to be trans in Albania. What did you think about Trump's NABJ appearance? I actually just spoke about it. Listen, the DEI shit is the wrong way for him to go. He wins by showing up, by the fact that Joe Biden doesn't show up, Kamala Harris doesn't show up at the event they were invited to. He wins just by showing up. Then he does this weird thing. I know, one day she's Indian, then she's back. Indian. Again, why? Why? It was, that part of it was idiotic of him. I thought the rest, going into hostile territory and speaking to people that are hostile to you and having a conversation, to me, shows me character, which is why the guy is such an unbelievable enigma of himself, that he can show enough character to do that, but then, goes down to Georgia, Kemp, what a disaster, and does that shit. Anyway, I already talked about this. I care about truth, not spin. Facts, as you say, agree strongly on that. Algerian, thank you, Adam. See, I'll admit I'm wrong. She's not Albanian. She's Algerian. Thank you for saying she's Algerian. My apologies. Algerian, not Albanian. See, I'm wrong. I'm not fucking Chris Cuomo. I admit when I'm wrong. I think she was born intersex with both genitals. From what I heard, birth certificate, and again, in Algeria, I don't think they're going to screw around. From what I understand, she was born female, Danielle. And if she was born female with female genitals, listen, let's go crazy on this one for a minute. Let's assume she's a hermaphrodite, born male, female genitals. Okay. And she's clearly more feminine than masculine, can't fight with men. Do we not let her fight? Well, you know what? She should just fight trans people. But if there's not trans people to fight, then what do? Say you're excluded from sports, you're excluded from society? My point is this. We have to figure out something, because these people live among us. And as humans, as caring people, we have to do something to make people that are different from us somehow assimilate. We have to figure it out. Do I have the answer? No, I don't. Again, I said it during the podcast. The male to female thing, watching men change in a matter of months and dominate sports, no. Leah Thompson, I thought, was a really good example of when it's wrong. That doesn't mean it's wrong all the time. We have to figure out something. We can't just say these people are excluded from society. They're excluded from sports. I don't know what the answer is. I'll be honest. I don't know what it is. We're faced with a new situation, but we have to figure it out. We have to be humans about this and give these people a place to fit in. That's all I'm saying. You can't just immediately shun them and shit on them and make them feel terrible about themselves. And then people jump on something and we don't have all the facts. Let's wait and see. Let's get some facts about it. Shouldn't be allowed to fight women if she has a Y. Something needs to be figured out. I agree. Let's figure something out. Look into New Jersey schools policy 5756. Yeah, listen, New Jersey's doing it wrong. Adam, you're right. New Jersey's doing it wrong. When it comes to transgender in sports, They're doing it wrong, and you're hurting women. You're hurting women. Couldn't find any Michael Phelps controversy except for grass. Nothing about physique. There was something out there where he had weird lung capacity or something like that. I'm going to look it up, Anita. Again, maybe I'm mixing up Michael Phelps with somebody else. Look, I'm going to give you an example of a story. This is going way too long, but I love that you people are interacting with me. Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong cheated, was doping, no question about it, got caught cheating. Okay. And people ostracized Lance Armstrong. Now, what I said to people was, listen, you want to ostracize him for cheating? Yes. You want to take away all of his, what is it, yellow shirts they get for bike riding? You want to take all away his yellow shirts? Yes. You want to take away all of his records? Yes. I'm fine with that. At the same time, I want to know if blood doping was that rampant and everybody was doing it, because if everybody's blood doping, then it's like baseball. Everyone was taking steroids in the late 90s, and Major League Baseball loved it. They loved the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa thing. They were making money hand over fist. Use these athletes. Let them take the steroids. And it became, oh my God, they were taking steroids. We're going to put asterisks next to it. Oh, we had no idea. Bullshit. Lance Armstrong, you want to take away his yellow shirts, you want to take away all of that stuff, yes, fine. I want you to look at how much money Lance Armstrong raised for cancer research and then say, do we ostracize this guy completely? Do we shun this guy all the way out of society? Because on the one hand, yeah, he cheated at fucking bike riding. On the other hand, man, look at all this money we raised. See what I'm saying? There's always two things could be true at one point, at one time. He could be a cheater. You could say he doesn't deserve to have his championships. But in that, this incredible good thing came out of it. That we raised got to be hundreds of millions of dollars with the Livestrong Foundation. See, guys, you can't automatically jump and ostracize and this and that. The two things can be true at the same time. He could be a cheater. He could be disqualified from bike riding and all of sports. But to shun him out of society and make the guy, he's the sin can never be forgiven. What the fuck, man? Humanity, man. Be people. Come on. Right? Because it's always about the money. Danielle, it's always about the money. It's always, Daniel, I don't know if you heard what I said. The Olympics. The United States pays $38,000 to people that win gold medals. The actual Olympics pays them nothing. They give them the medal. Beautiful. Yeah, medals are awesome. Love medals. I have a whole bunch of them I'm looking at right now. They're making billions off the Olympics, and they give these amateur athletes nothing. But people talk about, the disparity between men and women. What about the disparity between the haves and the have-nots? These are amateur athletes. Yeah, but Vin, they're going to get commercial deals. Really? The bronze medalist is going to get a commercial deal? The bronze medalist. Did you see the race yesterday? There was the 100-meter race where literally the difference between first and last place was like a half a second. The difference between first and like fifth place was like less than a half a second. So one person gets prize money and glory. The other person gets nothing. And these people should all walk away with nothing when the Olympics is making hundreds of millions of dollars. Bullshit. I'm sorry. No, you're not. This is no different than collegiate sports. No different. All right. Almost on an hour, guys. I'm still talking too much. Armstrong broke my heart. I truly loved him. And I don't use the word casually. Still do. But Adam, again, yeah. Look, he sinned. Is it an unforgivable sin? Look at how much money he raised for cancer research. It's that unforgivable. We can't take him back and be like, dude, you were a dick. Yeah, I know. I don't have any more yellow shirts. They took it all away from me. Yeah. Come on. Let's go get a beer. Man, I don't know. Okay. Listen, you guys are awesome. We went an hour. I got to save my voice. I got to go to court in the morning. Thank you for the feedback. Adam, I love the spirited debate. I really do. I don't take any of this thing personal. This is what it's about. It's about exchanging ideas. We disagree. Again, as an unaffiliated person, I'm not falling in love with either candidate. It's just where I am right now. I want to see that debate. I want to see where these people actually stand on policy. I know where Trump is on policy. I really don't know where Kamala is on policy. Let's have a debate. Let's have it out. Everyone, let me know if you watch live, on the replay, share, everything else. Middle East looks like it's coming to a head. Man, let's pray cooler heads prevail. I know Italy made a call. The Prime Minister of Italy made a call to Iran asking for restraint. I know another country did as well. I know they're trying to get the G7 involved. Let's pray for peace in the Middle East. Let's hope that cooler heads prevail and the world is a better place tomorrow. That's all I'm trying to do. Bring some awareness. Like, share, subscribe. Everybody, thank you for checking in. You guys are awesome. Have an amazing week. Maybe I'll do another one. I'm going to do a fun one this week. I'm going to do a goofy one this week. Maybe Wednesday I'll check back and we'll do something goofy. How about that? Goofy? Give me a vote for Goofy. Give me a thumbs up for Goofy. All right. Have a good night, everybody.